Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now, without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know that Young Thug had been released from jail, well, now you know. The only thing is his conditions seem to be a little crazy, and everybody's, they got their own opinions based on whether he should have stayed inside or he should have been released. But let me tell you this. One thing you can't argue with somebody is whether they want to be in jail or not. It's easier said than done from the outside looking in, because you don't have to endure the conditions within being in jail. Now, at first, Young Thug was looking at a life sentence for the crimes that he was being charged with, and then it came all the way down where he took a plea agreement and he has been released, and he has 15 years of probation hanging over his head. Now, he was supposed to do 45 years. It got knocked down to 20, and within the 20, he has time served and has 15 years to do on probation and cannot get in any trouble within those 15 years. Now, part of being released, Young Thug is required to not go to Metro Atlanta because he's banned from there. He has to do 4 presentations and concerts a year against gang violence. He can travel for work to make music, but I'm assuming he's probably going to have to get permission. He's not supposed to have any contact with any gang members or co-defendants except for his brother and Gunna, which is kind of crazy, but I'm assuming that's because they took plea agreements, and he cannot promote gangs in any type of way. Now, when he first took the plea deal, his lawyer was totally against it. His lawyer said that he definitely didn't want him to take the plea deal because part of a plea deal pretty much means that you are guilty, but you're taking the deal, and in return, they're letting you be free. He says he believed that Jeffrey, aka Young Thug, would have been able to get the case dismissed because the evidence and everything they had against him, including the trial, it was just, one big circus, as we all seen.
As far as how Jeffrey's feeling now, he knows my feelings, which I'm not going to reveal for attorney-client privilege, but this is not the same as a not guilty verdict. That should have been rang.
However, like I said earlier, it's easier said than done. We don't know what type of stuff he was going through while he was incarcerated. You start missing your family, your children, and just living a regular life, opposed to being in jail where you can't do nothing without being told to do so. So of course, everybody had their own opinions on it, but one thing I'm gonna say is, if you've never been in that situation, it's kind of hard for you to have an opinion on it because you never had to experience it. Now, one thing I can say though, 15 years of probation is crazy. Now, shout out to Hassan Campbell. I seen he did a video where he was pretty much saying anybody that's saying that 15 years on probation at the age of 30 and up is crazy. Well, that says a lot about them, because if you can't stay out of trouble for 15 years, then something is wrong with you. But once again, if you've never been through it, it's easier said than done. If y'all remember, Meek Mill was complaining about having just 8 years on probation, and it's not about not getting in trouble, but it's the little tedious things about being on probation that hurts the most. We seen that firsthand with him when he got in trouble for wheeling a bike because he got in the police contact, and he ended up having to do 2 years behind bars, all because he was wheeling a dirt bike. Let me tell y'all one thing. When you on probation, it's really not about you getting in trouble. It's about the little things that can put you in trouble, in which you have to be very, very careful of. Do you know that any type of police contact could get you in trouble, but it's really up to the discretion of your PO? Because technically, you're not supposed to have no police contact at all. So if your PO wants to be, a little strict on you, they could do whatever they want to do with you. And within those 15 years, whatever happens and they chose to violate you, you have up until 15 years where they could give you 1 year in jail, 2 years in jail, or even 5 years in jail. It's really up to their discretion. And like I said before, Being on probation is pretty much being in jail, but you just free into the outside world. But when you have that type of supervision on you, are you really free at all? If y'all remember Tay Savage, who was a Chicago rapper, he was recently violated on probation just for being at a party in which shots was fired and he almost lost his life, but he was still violated based on who he was around and just the environment, period. So could you imagine explaining to somebody that you got violated on parole and got to do a few months in jail all because you almost became a victim of gun violence? It's crazy. Then on top of that, you have a curfew in which you must abide by no matter what it is. Sometimes they can set it at 7 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. But if you have a cool enough probation officer, then sometimes they kind of lenient knowing who you are. And in a situation like that, it's pretty much up to you to stay out of trouble. Now I said all that because now we're seeing Young Thug, he's out, it hasn't even been a full 2 days yet, and people are already saying the way he's acting, due to a more recent post speaking about rats, it's looking like he may not make that 15-year mark. This is because Young Thug would take to his Twitter account with something interesting to say, as he would tweet saying, quote, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats, Peter." And pretty much y'all know who Wham is. That's Lil Baby's second alias. And if you know anything about Lil Baby, he was very vocal about not messing with Gunna, who a lot of people are calling a rat because he took a plea deal within the situation with YSL.
YSL is a music label and a gang, and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang.
Yes, ma'am.
So immediately, once Young Thug mentioned anything about a rat, people automatically assumed that he was referring to Gunna, pretty much sneak dissing in the least. Back in 2023, when it came out that Gunna took a plea deal, Lil Baby wasted no time calling Gunna a rat during his concert performance and letting it be known that he's not rocking with Gunna due to his affiliation with Young Thug. Many people thought that Young Thug was going to come out and let the world know whether Gunna told or not, and although he still hasn't said whether he did or not, I think this tweet pretty much wraps it all up and lets it be known that Young Thug is in support of Baby and what he said, which is why he mentioned, "Let's drop on these rats." Now, if you want to go a little deeper, I guess the next question would be, well, who's the rat, right? But anyway, Lil Baby will respond as he would take to his Instagram story and he would say, quote, "I miss you, MF. Welcome home, my brother. Thank God you able to get back to the fam in good health and spirits. Wish you none but billions, Jack. Hashtag whatever Wham says goes." So if you was wondering how Young Thug felt, then this pretty much summed it up for you. Now a lot of people are saying due to those tweets, Young Thug seemed like he didn't learn nothing being in jail, and he's coming out on the same type of time that he was when he was out. Let me tell y'all something. Just because somebody did jail time and you see how they act in court, they look so sympathetic, they look like, one thing a lot of people do, they say a lot of things when they're in a certain position because they just want to get out of it. You know how much people done went to jail, did a whole bunch of time, and when they was in there, said all the good stuff that they was going to do when they came home, all for them to actually come home, commit another crime, and go right back to jail. It happens all the time, especially the guys that be in there with the women that's holding them down. They say they're going to do this, get married. Everybody have a bunch of stories of what they're going to do when they come home, or to come home and do the complete opposite. It happens all the time, and it happens more frequent than we think. Now, do I think Young Thug is going to get in trouble because of these tweets? No. He can't change who he is at the end of the day. He is who he is. It's people that did way more time than him and come home and they're worse. You also have to keep in mind that he is an entertainer. All this could just be a build-up for a record or an album because he know that this is what people want to hear and it's what people want to see. I'm sure that the first album or tape or whatever song he puts out is going to have a bunch of streams because everybody's going to be sitting there waiting to hear what he got to say about Gunna or just the case, period. Keep in mind, right? These guys got each other's numbers. I'm pretty sure Young Thug has Lil Baby number and he could have got in contact with him any other way than social media. So for him to do that tweet, of course he wanted some type of attention to it and he got exactly what he wanted. Everybody's talking about it. If he was to drop a song right now, it'll probably get 1 million streams within a couple hours. All because everybody's watching. Are you not entertained? Right? So y'all jump in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about this, what y'all think about these tweets, Do it mean that Young Thug may crash out or he might not make the 15-year mark? Like I told y'all before, 15 years on probation is a very long time. It's not about staying out of trouble. It's about the tedious aspect of it. And once again, if you was never on it, you would never understand. So y'all jump in the comments and let me know what y'all think about this. How do y'all feel about these tweets? Do you think that maybe Young Thug might not hit that 15-year mark and it's looking like he didn't learn nothing? Also, do you think that this pretty much means that Young Thug is trying to tell the world that Gunna did snitch? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'ma keep on dropping. I'm out.